There is no Christian life without the cross. Yet we do not want it. As a decoration, it looks nice. As the searing torture of body, mind, and spirit that it really is, we want no part of it. Peter was not the last follower of Jesus who has felt, "God forbid it, Lord. This must never happen to you or me." In Matthew's Gospel, today's passage follows Peter's declaration that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Peter liked the thought of Jesus as the Christ, the Anointed One of God, sent to bring about the fulfillment of God's plan for the world. We like that too. What Peter could not handle was the fact that from that time on, Jesus started talking about suffering and death as his way of messiahship. Peter and we like our gods to be powerful, not suffering. More to the point, we like ourselves to be powerful, not suffering. God, however, sees things differently. The pains, the crosses of our life bring us to complain to God. In my own life, some of my most honest prayers have been at such times. No fancy words, no set phrases, just raw pain, confusion, and anger. In other words, my true self. Apparently, God prefers the complaints of Jeremiah to the solicitude of Peter. When Peter tries to head off talk of suffering, Jesus calls him Satan. Jesus says yet another shocking thing about Peter. "You are a stumbling block to me." How can Peter's hope that Jesus not suffer be a stumbling block? Peter is renewing the temptation that Satan presented to Jesus at the start of his ministry, the temptation to avoid the painful way and take the easy way. Jesus is upset because it is a real temptation that Peter presents to him. The cross was Jesus' vocation, but that does not mean he liked it or did not hope for some other way. He prayed for as much at Gethsemane. The temptation to avoid the cross is not one that Jesus alone faced. We too face it. That's the reason Jesus tells us that we must be willing to take up the cross. We too must face and overcome the temptation Jesus faced and overcame. If any wants to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. He wants us to follow him to the cross and through the temptation to avoid it. What is the cross? It's not merely the instrument of torture on which Jesus was killed. It's certainly more than a decoration or a piece of jewelry. The cross is the way in which God relates to the world. We say that God is love, and our lives are meant to be signs of that love for the world. But what is love? Love is not merely the emotion that is a real part of every healthy human life. The kind of love that characterizes God is not an emotion, but an activity. It's a giving of one's all for the sake of the beloved. This is symbolized in Christian marriage, where the couple commit themselves to sharing not an emotion, but a life. The ultimate self-emptying, the ultimate offering we can make in love, is the offering of our whole life. God did that in Jesus on the cross. If we want to know what God is like, we must look at the cross. If we want to show what God is like, we must take up our cross. But that has implications for us who call ourselves Christians. We must be willing to face the cross, willing to sacrifice even life itself for the sake of God and others. We do it knowing that in becoming like Christ on his cross, we also become like him in his resurrection. As St. Paul says, if we have been united with him in a death like his, we will certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his. Does that mean we must go in search of opportunities to suffer? No, we need not search. They will come. What we must do is spend our lives facing the minor crosses that come our way, learning patience, humility, and service. Then, when the big demands come, we will already have learned to deny ourselves and follow the Lord. Then we will be able to face the Lord in His glory and receive the reward of those who show the unlimited love of God to the world, unlimited life.